A broken woman kissed me, used one hand to turn the lock on her door while the other held onto me like an umbilical cord wrapped around the child's neck. She starts to strip away my clothes. Starting with the barbed wires around my lungs that would stop me. Whenever I try to tell a girl how I truly feel, she whispers to me, says she wants to know if I'm here for love or pity, and I think back to how I met her, y'all. I used to watch her from afar. Soon noticed that the downward arc of her frown resembled the story of her life, and that our reputations both walk with the same shadow. Because word around town is that my smile has grown into the habit of finding women that don't want to be found, and that her heart has the same problems. When we met, I asked her what she does with all the pain. She told me that in time, you just figure out how to hide it. Has learned over the years that falling in love is simply the precursor to landing in bed sheets, but hasn't learned enough to realize that self-confidence doesn't grow on knees in closed closets. Don't get fed. No, not in this house. These rooms are too small to stockpile your secrets anymore, because rumor has it she has a fetish for scars and can make a confession seem like a striptease. And I've heard she has this tongue trick where she says, "I love you," and it comes out as a cry for help. People like her remind me of why I've always felt sorry for the beautiful. I sit on the edge of a bed, finally alone with her in this room, but in a way, y'all, I'm still watching from afar as she strips out of everything except her crucifix, and I noticed that the Jesus on her cross had his head turned, as if ashamed I would be doing this God-forsaken room. So I told her to throw it to the floor, right next to her skirt where it belongs. Tell me if a skirt falls in a locked room, does God still hear it? Does he still feel this? Does he still see this? And after this private display of absolution is finished, she tells me that being with me reminds her of a fantasy in which she's actually alive. The problem is, I figured she of all people would understand that in my fantasies, we never talked afterwards. Girl, the only thing we have in common is the fact that we both break easily. As these words leave my mouth, she starts searching my eyes as if she expects to find something worth salvaging, but I walk to the door. Stepping over the excuses she'll soon use to scrub the insides of her thighs, and I pause long enough to remind her that some fantasies should just stay that way. I mean, let's be honest. Both have reputations to uphold.